Jake Paul just woke up the wrong monster. Gervonta Davis isn't coming to box, he's coming to destroy. Watch till the end, you won't believe this.
No, it's makes a minute to zero.
A real boxer, a real world champion boxer, that the only other time he was in for the fans to get mad with that was against Fury's, Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously. And all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, it seemed crazy.
Gervonta Tank Davis has shocked the boxing world with his unbelievable new body transformation before his fight with Jake Paul. Known for his explosive power and short, compact frame, Tank has completely changed his physique. He's now looking stronger, heavier, and more dangerous than ever. New gym videos show a thicker, more muscular Tank Davis, and fans are going crazy online. Many believe he's bulking up to match Jake Paul's power and meet him head-on in the ring.
We were yelling so much about him fighting someone, fight somebody your size. His next opponent is, by far, the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 135 pounds.
In preparation for Jake Paul, Tank has turned his training camp into a total war zone. He's pushing his limits with high-intensity workouts, heavy lifting, and brutal sparring sessions. Reports say he's focusing on building raw strength through compound lifts while keeping his trademark speed and movement sharp. He's even sparring with much bigger fighters, some close to heavyweight size, to get used to the power and pressure of a larger opponent like Jake Paul.
Yeah.
This Santa Cruz out here to get
on my own.
You gotta let it burn, baby. Let it burn.
mind over matter, son. Mind over matter.
This is the blues I'm
Ain't nobody doing no shit like this. Come in the desert. Nigga trying to stay away from the desert. He come in the desert.
when the night
Camera.
is cold.
Oh, see.
Light camera action.
And fighting for
Light action. Camera.
Come on, Tank. Come on, Tank. Turn out. Turn out here. Come on, let me kiss you. You said, get down there. Get down. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Something.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
This is the final game.
Remember that gun on it? They got that gun on that tank. They go, time.
When the night is cold and low.
They ain't gonna keep you here late at night. Good job.
It's been hard being away from my daughter. She actually here, she sleep. Just being away from her, it was a little touchy, but I know when I'm up, I guess. I know that I got pay-per-view. I know I'm fighting a tough opponent, so really I know how to lock in. I know how to shy away from everything. I know how to, I know how to fool around. I said, cheese, huh? Yeah, because that's it. You don't worry about the ball fat. No, don't get like it. Nah, man. We can't go on TV looking like nah.
But here's the real challenge: Jake Paul is naturally much bigger. The fight rules allow a 195-pound maximum with 12-ounce gloves. That's a massive jump for Davis, who normally fights at around 135 pounds. This huge difference in size and strength has raised serious questions. Some boxing experts worry that Tank's speed and explosiveness, the weapons that made him a knockout artist, could fade with all this extra muscle.
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar.
Tank's fast, though.
It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has better
Paul.
boxing.
now, obviously, is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah. No, but dude,
Did you
Jake
ever watch his highlights?
Jake can
He's
crack,
nasty,
man.
bro.
He's so sick.
He's
I love
nasty.
that guy, bro.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Has one job to do. That it doesn't make any difference. That boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of which you have none of. Telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
UFC President Dana White gave his honest opinion on the potential matchup. He said not everyone is excited about this fight, but it could still help Tank Davis. After some rough months outside the ring, this might be his chance to bounce back, make big money, and remind fans who he is. Dana believes Jake Paul's size, reach, and raw strength will be a real problem for Tank. Paul could lean on him, smother him in clinches, and wear him down with pressure. While Dana admits Tank is the more skilled boxer, he warned that when smaller fighters step into a bigger man's world, their skills sometimes disappear. For Dana White, this fight isn't just about boxing, it's about whether Tank can survive the physical power that Jake Paul brings.
Is picking Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's where I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So, I do like it for this reason, though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole. And he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries. But you gotta love Dana White having the audacity to pick Jake Paul in this fight and says something to the effect that, hey, he was talking to Logan Paul and said, hey, when you were fighting Floyd, you know, there was this, you're a gigantic guy, big size difference. There was a time when Floyd Mayweather Jr. had an overhand right that landed flush on Logan Paul.
Former UFC star and bare-knuckle brawler Mike Perry also jumped in with harsh words. He accused Gervonta Davis of chasing fame and money instead of real boxing challenges. Perry called this fight a cash grab, questioning if Tank still has the same hunger and passion that made him a world champion. He even claimed Jake Paul might be working harder than Tank right now. Those comments hit hard, sparking major debate among fans about whether Tank Davis is still fighting for legacy or just for the spotlight.
Jake is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
During their face-off, fans noticed something strange. Gervonta Davis didn't look like his usual confident self. He seemed tense, avoiding eye contact, and his body language looked stiff. Standing face to face with a much bigger Jake Paul clearly made an impact. Some fans say Tank was just staying calm and focused, but others think he was feeling real pressure for the first time. The size gap was impossible to ignore, and it might already be affecting his mindset.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult. It is meant to take away from a potentially glorious moment for Jake. But where the compliment comes is it means the public believes he's gonna win. That's what it means.
Legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas also reacted to the face-off, and he didn't hold back. He joked that Tank Davis might need a ladder just to reach Jake Paul's chin. Atlas said the size difference was way too big to be fair. He compared it to Canelo moving up to fight Terence Crawford, except in this case, the gap is even wider. In his words, this fight feels more like a show than a real boxing contest. Skill versus size, that's what this fight will come down to. But many believe, this time, size might actually win.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky 3.